Hi Taurus, welcome to your week ahead horoscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Taurus, so this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you've got the Devil card, right? In this deck he's actually called the Horned One, but same diff. Now it's funny because when this card came up, the first thought that I had was, you know, typical Taurus, being rigid and all the rest of it. But I actually don't feel like it's that. I kind of get the feeling that this week, this is you really trying to figure something out. And I got to be honest with you, I kind of feel like this week you're getting in your own way. It's almost like the answer is so simple that you're refusing to believe it because it's so simple. This, you know, simplicity is one of the things that you guys are known for. It's one of the things that you guys love. What is going on in the Taurus camp right now? What is going on with my ball gang, man? Like, seriously. That being said, remember the Devil card is... It's not so much that it's subjective, but it can show us where our own particular proclivities, let's say, are getting in the way. And I kind of really feel like this is you just trying to overcomplicate the situation. It's like, if there were ever a week to say it's not that deep, this would be that week, right? This is the week where you have to kind of step back and say, you know what, I don't usually do this. Taurus is not one for drama. They tend to kind of steer clear of it. They don't really like it. And this week, maybe, just maybe, the reason that you are getting into drama is because you know there's a part of you that is acting not out of your integrity, but there's a part of you that's acting either out of character, or there's a part of you that it's like you're refusing to let something, you're a fixed side. Listen, I got 2 fixed placements as my big 3, right? So I'm right there with you. But it's almost like, I kind of feel like this week, there's something that's bugging you, right? And the answer to that, the answer to fixing that is really simple. But that, you know, typical fixed sign, epitome of Earth, fixed, Taurus fixed sign energy of yours is this week, where usually it protects you from the drama and it protects you from the challenges, it's you getting in your own way, right? This is where that need for simplicity and that need for doing things a certain way is getting the better of you. And it's because you can't accept that you know there's something that you need to do. But no, it can't be that answer because I don't want it to be that answer. Come on, gang, get it together. For your, if you are a continued subby, you know, Raffy Love Shirt. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share. After that, everybody's like, listen, I ain't subscribing to that. If you are a new subby or you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share. And if you should so choose and it resonates, hit the subscribe button. So for your actions and options, you've got the Star card, right? So there's hope here, right? There is a way out of this, but it is going to require you to think outside of your own proverbial box. Now, the Star card does suggest either an Aquarius person may hold the answer for you. This may be something that has something to do with Aquarius. It might be that this week the answer really is in the stars for you. And the reason I say that is because the Star card can represent astrology, can represent technology. You've got it here with the Devil card. And if I'm honest with you, it is going to take you, it's like this week you've got to come out of your zone, out of your circle, out of what you know in order to see things from a different or a higher perspective this week. It's the only way you're going to be able to break through your, not the only way, but you know what I mean. It's the only way you're going to be able to break through your own hard-headedness. You've got to see something from a very different viewpoint so that you can say, okay, a perfect example, right? There's somebody that you really miss, right? And you're like, no, that person hurt me, they upset me, or they always get into drama, I'm not interested, but I'm pissed off with the fact that they haven't called me or that they've stopped reaching out to me after I ignored them for the last 15 times that they tried. So, you know, and it's like, what's the logical answer then? Pick up the phone and call them, right? And that Taurus part of you is like, no, I can't do that. No, that's too simple. It's not that. That's just to give you all an example of what I'm seeing here. And, you know, if that is the case, get out of your own damn way. For your communications and conversations, you have the Knight of Swords. So I think a part of this may be somebody's going to call you on your crap, right? Or maybe, just maybe, this is me doing the reading, calling you on your crap in a loving sort of radiant reality kind of way, and highlighting to you where you are getting in your own way. This Knight of Swords, especially underneath the Devil card, you are going to have to speak up this week. It is you that's going to have to initiate conversation, whether this is in your work, whether it's personal, professional, or platonic. This week, you have to pick up the phone. This week, you have to do the reaching out. This week, you have to do the legwork. 9 times out of 10, Taurus can wait, let things come to them, and, you know, they will happen. That's not to say that you guys are lazy. Taurus are real grafters. I truly believe that. Like, you're genuine, you know, a grafter is what we say in the UK. That's when we say someone's a really hard working. But this week, that's not going to cut it. You're having to go completely out of your comfort zone this week. If you want a different result, you're going to have to do something different this week. And that looks like you opening up or being aware of where you need to switch something, where you need to change something. And, you know, that Knight of Swords, because that's a card, it's a fast card, it's a card of action, it's here in the communications. You might have to get into a little bit of drama this week. You might have to have somebody kind of tell you about yourself for a change. You might have, do you know what I mean? Like, this week, you got to turn it all on its head. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, this may be one of those moments where you just have to bite your tongue and take it on the chin. And that's not to say that we allow people to walk all over us, but it is to say that sometimes the way through, the only way through, is literally to go through it, right? And this may be the case if you are employed by somebody else, especially if this is a superior that you've had a bit of a tussle with before. For those of you that work for yourselves, business owners, etc., 9 times out of 10, again, you guys don't need the whistles and bells. This may be one of those weeks where, especially if you're courting a certain client, if you are you know, trying to maybe launch a different product via your business, this week you're having to do the work, right? You got to bring a little bit of that chutzpah, darling, all right? You got to find it within you to switch it on. And you've got Uranus moving through your sign, whether this is your sun, your moon, or your ascendant. He's waking this area up, right? And with these two air cards, especially the star card, which is Aquarius, which is, you know, in terms of modern astrology anyway, Uranus ruled, you know, this has been a deep rumble for this first 3.5 years. You've still got 3.5 years of this to go. So this is a time where maybe this week you're having to, you know, I mean, you don't have to be Wrath. You know what? You guys are never going to be, you know what I mean, like as theatrical as me, but there might be a need for you to dig into some of that. When it comes to those of you that are retired and no longer working, one way that this may show up for you is the drama may not be yours. It may be in a friendship circle. It might be in a familial sector, you know, it might be in the familial sector, but you're having to get into it and you're not going to be able to walk away from it or ignore it this week. You know, usually Taurus was like, you know, I'll ignore it. It'll work itself out. You don't have that luxury this week. When it comes to your love and relations, you've got the World card, right? This is a love relationship coming full circle. Now, it's really interesting because technically, even though the World card is Saturn ruled and Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius, this is a lot of air energy, right? Usually Taurus is embodied. You got to get out of the body and you got a lot, like the mind needs to start working this week, right? This is a week for you to, and again, you guys are very intelligent, but this week, the material, the physical, that's not going to cut it. Cooking a nice meal, you know, giving a shoulder rub and running a bath and being on hand for all the good stuff, that's not going to cut it. You've got to come with something else. You need, for those of you that are partnered this week, especially if you've had challenges or issues in your relationship, you got to come with something else. flowers, gifts and chocolate is not going to cut it this week, right? You have to show up in a different way. For those of you that are single and looking, if I'm honest, I mean, for me, the World card, whenever this represents a person for love or relationships, it's always somebody that is older than us or somebody that there is an age gap with. It's usually 5 years either side. So they'll either be 5 years younger than you or up to 5 years and more, actually, I've seen, or 5 years older. 9 times out of 10, it's usually that they are older, wiser, more mature. But because it's underneath the star card, and although that's technically, you know, your actions and your options and your energy, these two together suggest that if you are meeting someone, they are likely older and wiser, or they're young, or they are younger than you, but they are very wise for their years. This is somebody who the external does not match the internal. And I think that's a little bit of what you need. For your money and materials, you have the Queen of Wands. So for some of you this week, you might need to draw a boundary or set a boundary when it comes to the finances or the money. You've got this underneath that Knight of Swords. This week, like I said, flowers, gifts, chocolates, massage, it's not going to cut it. All right, chucking money at it or things or all the rest of it, not going to cut it. You need to come with more than that. That being said, the Queen of Wands with that Knight of Swords, you may have to draw a very clear boundary with a friend, with a colleague, with a sibling when it comes to finance, when it comes to money, to say, listen, you know what, I actually feel like you're overstepping, or maybe that you're overspending, right? Which, for a Taurus to say that, you really got to be overspending. All right, and I say that out of all love. I can joke with my Taurus crew, my bull gang, whatever you guys like to call yourselves. I can joke with you this way because we get each other. You know, I always give this story and this example, but it's like as soon as Uranus moved into Taurus videos, everything that I put out for them just went through the roof. And it's like that mutual reception really has done wonders, because up until then I really struggled with Taurus energy. I was like, I couldn't get it. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, this is how it works. And now it's great. I love it. You know, I love you guys, and you guys hopefully love me too. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, your Queen of Wands, this is about fortifying the self, right? So this week, whatever it is that's going to make your body strong, getting back into the workout routine, picking up the weights, going back to yoga. This is about really redoubling your efforts. It's not enough to say, I'm going to. You got to dig into it this week. Like, you've got to really give it some grit. And you guys have got grit. When it comes to your home and environment, this could literally be, if I'm honest, it kind of feels like this week you're closing ranks, right? Now, anybody, and I say this at the risk of maybe upsetting, you know, and it's not meant for that, but we can very often, as universal as I like to make myself, we can only really come from the place that we're from, right? So in my family and the circles that I moved in or have moved in over the years because of that. So, you know, like the Greek circles, the black circles, like when stuff gets real in the family, we close ranks. We don't outsource. We don't ask for outside opinions. We don't take on board other people's stuff. We close ranks and we deal with it in-house. This kind of feels like a week where you're needing to do that, whatever community you're a part of or are from, etc. But I had to give that example to kind of give an example. All right, so hopefully nobody got offended in all of that. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. I truly hope that you find what you need this week to get to where you need to be. With that said, take care, and I'll see you soon.